Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a blockbuster day this has been on the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. हमें मालूम था कि बॉर्डर गावस्कर ट्रॉफी ना बहुत धमाल सीरीज है, लेकिन इतना धमाल होगा, पहले ही दिन धमाल होगा, ये नहीं पता था. They've just taken it up a notch. 150 all out and then seven down. Yes, seven down Australia after that. Amazing, amazing from both sides. Lots to discuss today. और आज जैसे आपको मालूम है डबल हेडर है from TOI Beyond the Boundary as well. 6:30 we are going to be discussing BGT, and then 8:30 we have a special episode. We'll be previewing the IPL auction as well. So you have your fix for Indian cricket, all cricket conversation on our channels, whether it's YouTube, on X, or on Facebook. Do subscribe on YouTube, do follow on Twitter, and follow on Facebook as well. As always, I'm Chetan Narula. We have a full panel once again. Let's invite our panelists, Nitin Nayak and Dopayan Datta, and K. Srinivas Rao will be joining us in just a bit as well. Gentlemen, what a day of cricket. I mean, aap cricket fan ho. Matlab, as a cricket fan, when I woke up at 7 a.m., first of all, I couldn't sleep a lot. So much excitement, India, Australian summer, test cricket in Australia. It's amazing, always amazing. Um, but, you know, in the morning, there was just so much excitement. And it didn't disappoint. Performances की बात हम करेंगे, but it just did not disappoint. Nitin, your thoughts on the day's play?
Isn't it? I mean, an umpiring controversy, lots of wickets, some sledging, and the Border-Gavaskar Trophy getting off to a blockbuster start on day one itself. I mean, the entire series almost encapsulated into one day.
Okay, Dopayan, do you agree कि ये series ऐसे ही चलेगा? And we would like our viewers to also give in their comments कि ये series ऐसे ही चलने वाली है. Dopayan was the one. Dopayan को बिल्कुल Australian batting पसंद नहीं है. He just doesn't rate Australian batting. And look, 150 का response is 7. Like amazing. Come on, Dopayan.
Yes. Yeah. The Australian batting that we have like envied growing up, and when I see this, it shocks me. It's beyond shocking. Like I'm talking here as a cricket fan and not a just an Indian fan. Like
Yeah.
It's okay if India goes on to win. That's brilliant, but like Australians have at times it seems they've forgotten how to bat. Like but brilliant day of cricket. That's fine. But a great day of cricket, and yeah, that's what. And if we win this test match, okay, guys, pack your bags for
amazing, right?
Huh?
That'll be amazing, right? If India wins this test match, it seems that it might be possible,
Yeah. After getting all out for 150 without your top stars, if they go on to win this test match, I don't know. Australia doesn't know where to go after this if they lose this.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about all of those things. Again, it's just the first day of the series. So थोड़ा सा घोड़ों को लगाम देते हैं. Let's not get carried away. There's a lot to happen in the second innings, in the entire test match. Let's not forget, it's just been day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Pitch is going to be pretty decent for batting. Australia में इतना wear and tear नहीं देखने को मिलता है. So we'll talk about all of those things, how the match is going to shape up, where it's going to be headed. But as a starting point, it was a fabulous day of cricket. I could not take my eyes off it. As a thumb rule, I watch Jasprit Bumrah. जब भी bowling कराता है उसको देखना बनता है. As a kid, I used to watch Sachin Tendulkar bat every ball, and now with Jasprit Bumrah, Nitin, it's the same feeling, right? We are watching genius on display. And when Wasim Akram on commentary says, "This is the best bowler in world cricket," ये बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है across formats. This is the best bowler in world cricket, and today he proved it.
It seems almost, he has the pitch map in his head. Like he knows, apart from the skill that he obviously has in his hand and the control that he has, he just knows what length to pitch the ball on, be it whatever wicket he's playing on. He just knows where each batsman is uncomfortable. I think that's the point he made yesterday in his PC also. I think he said bowlers are more data driven than batters, and so I think he typifies that statement. I think he just it was he bowled exactly where the batters did not want to face him.
Hmm. Okay, Dopayan, your thoughts on Bumrah before we open up the session and we discuss whatever has happened today?
Incredible spell of fast bowling. Incredible.
Yeah.
Yes, the pitch was helpful, but it's just brilliant. Like I was looking into an analysis about about his release point. Like how his release point is 34 centimeters ahead of the popping crease. Like the from where he whereas somebody like Mohammad Siraj's release point is 7 centimeters ahead of the
Yeah.
popping
Yeah.
crease.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that 27 centimeters leeway that he gets, like, and the way he uses it, it is unbelievable. The length that he hit, and it's a captain spell. Like you talk of captain's knocks, like here it's a captain spell. Like incredible. Like
Well,
I don't remember. I don't remember anything like this in such an important game, and there, he has brought India right back. Brilliant.
yeah, and we don't remember it because we were all kids. We were all kids. We are middle-aged men now. So I don't know about you, Dopayan. I'm sure Nitin is also, but we are middle-aged men now. And when we were
Yeah.
kids, when the last time we had a pace bowler captain, Kapil Dev wreaking havoc, वो एक अलग era था, अलग time period था. So the captain spell जो आपने कहा है, Dopayan, that has not been used in Indian cricket for a very, very long time.
Very
But yes,
long time. Yeah.
absolutely beautifully put there. Uh, Ravi Shastri was also talking on air in terms of the release, in the kind of release he has, in the way he gauges, in terms of especially the short delivery, uska execution with the kind of release jo hai, that was absolutely brilliant to watch. Uttam is saying. Yes, Bumrah was unplayable. Aussie batters had no answers to other two as well. Must give credit to Mockle. Even when you guys talk about Siraj's speed, he was bowling 140 today also. यार देखो credit की बात हम करेंगे. We right now we're talking about the genius of Jasprit Bumrah. The others bowled well. There's no doubt about it. It was a collective effort, but we were brought back into the game by the genius of Jasprit Bumrah. और जब आपके सामने जीनियस है आपको उसको आइडेंटिफाई करना होता है बुमराह नहीं होते तो ये नहीं होता लेट्स बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट अबाउट इट सो ऑन दैट नोट let's open up the session and let's talk about what all has happened today. Let's look at this. Let's look at the talking points first of all. India won the toss and opted to bat, which I thought was a very brave decision, and I thought it was a very good call as well because Nitin, we've heard this very often. You bat first in Perth, स्पेशली एट दी ऑप्टर्स. ये तो ट्रेंड बन गया है. आप पर्थ पे हो, आपको बैटिंग पहले करनी है.
Yeah, but I think if they had looked at the way the pitch was prepared and the preparation was a bit compromised, if you look at the weather patterns in Perth, uh, leading from today to the weekend, I think it's going to get hotter and warmer,
Yeah.
which I think might ease the batting conditions. So I think tomorrow and day after, I don't think the wicket will be that difficult to play on.
Okay.
So, but I still think, just imagine what India would have done had they bowled first on that pitch.
Well, that's conjecture, right? That's
That's
if and but.
conjecture,
And,
exactly,
yeah, that's
hypothetical.
conjecture. And we can say कि okay, uh, what you're saying is absolutely right. If India had bowled first and had them at 60 for 7 and bowled them out for 100 and then फिर बाद में इंडिया भी खुद भी तो 60 for 7 हो सकता है ना. So it's a what
Correct,
if
correct.
cuts both ways. But एक बात और भी कहनी होगी कि we had this pressure of using the new ball. अगर आप 150 ऑल आउट नहीं होते, वो प्रेशर, वो एडिशनल प्रेशर जो है कि आपको न्यू बॉल से करना ही है. अगर आपने न्यू बॉल से नहीं किया और दे गॉट ऑफ टू अ गुड स्टार्ट, the game is gone, right? So that probably that pressure or that mentality in a way helped India, I would say that. But I would like Dopayan's thoughts on India's playing 11. We had Nitish Reddy, beg your pardon. He made his debut. Harshit Rana, combine हो गया यहाँ पे. So Reddy and Rana making their debuts. Washington Sundar ahead of Ravichandran Ashwin. That was the big call for me. Big call.
Yes. Uh, so, if I start with the Washington Sundar decision,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
obviously it is based on batting because they are playing Nitish Reddy. They want to have 8 batters. Basically, they want to have eight guys who can bat. So
Yeah.
and Washington Sundar is obviously a better batter on current form than Jadeja and Ashwin.
Mm.
So that is the call that they have taken. It is definitely not on the basis of the bowling skills. You can be
Okay.
we can be rest assured about
Yeah.
that. It
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
definitely not on the basis of the bowling skills. It is about his batting skill, and that's why he has been taken. And okay, fine, you did not have to bowl him in the on the first day, so he will probably come into play if at all on the third day for some holding job and a bit
Yeah.
of and some batting, maybe some batting in the second innings. So on those two counts, that selection might be justified. And
Mm.
Nitish Rana was, no, sorry, Nitish Reddy was quite
Yeah. Yeah.
spunky with his
Yeah.
batting. Like he showed
Yeah.
some serious spunk. That is what, and very decisive feet movement. That
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is one thing I liked about his batting, is that
Yeah.
there are no, he was never in a dilemma as to what he wants to do. So
Mm.
that was good. That was good, and I think that will stand the Indian team in good stead in the second innings, because this is going to be a second innings game at the end of the day, because Australia will come within 30 to 35 runs of the Indian score, and then it will entirely become a second innings game. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
the yeah, and your third is Harshit Rana. Harshit Rana sometimes bowled those release balls where runs could be scoreable, but he has that magic delivery up his sleeve, which got Travis head, which was brilliant, and he has a little bit of an extra spark in him, which works provided the other components are working well in tandem.
Okay, Nitin, do you agree with this? Because we're talking about, yes, probably from a batting perspective. Yesterday we had R. Sridhar, former fielding coach. He was talking about Washington, the left-hander angle, also the off-spin angle, and somebody to hold the line. So they were not looking at Jadeja, and then Ashwin comes into play. But then you get an off spinner who's a left-handed batter. That's what R. Sridhar said yesterday on the show, and probably that's what the Indian team management went with. But when Dopayan says he picked for his batting more than his bowling, and even Ravi Shastri said that. Even Ravi Shastri said that. I was very intrigued by this fact that you're picking a spinner in Australia, lone spinner, on his batting and probably not on his bowling skill as much. Um, there are 10 test hundreds between Ashwin and Jadeja. Suddenly we're picking Washington Sundar on his batting ahead of those two.
Uh, yeah, but I think what they probably deciphered was
Mm.
um, Ashwin's form in the Test
Mm.
series against New Zealand,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
the ease with which both Ashwin and Jadeja were scored off in that series
Mm.
in helpful spin bowling conditions. And they probably realized that this Test match is going to be,
Mm.
where runs are going to be at a premium. And as we
Mm.
saw today,
Mm.
Nathan Lyon, when he came into bowl,
Mm.
India kind of
Mm.
got into the momentum with
Mm.
Nitish and
Mm.
Rishabh Pant both going after him and getting some useful runs. So I
Mm.
think on this pitch, they looked more at Washington Sundar's left-handedness
Mm.
as well as his off spin, if at all it's required. If at all the wicket breaks up, if at all it is required, um, which
Yeah.
I don't think it might. In fact, I think we might regret not playing Akashdeep here.
Okay, okay. I still don't think there's this space for four out and out fast bowlers. आपको वो balance तो करना ही पड़ता है. And in terms of playing in Australia, you need an off spinner, especially on the third, fourth, and fifth day. But we'll see how it goes. So far nothing is going to script, nothing is going as predicted, except the
Yeah.
Payan's call that both these batting lineups are really, really bad. Okay, Debankya Jyoti Das says Washington Sundar scored 50 in the Brisbane Test. Management felt he would be better suited for bouncy conditions. I don't agree with this. He scored 50, तो क्या हो गया? Jadeja और Ashwin ने भी run बनाए हैं Australia में. They've scored runs in Test match all over the world. It's not like they can't. I mean, these guys, like I said, 10 Test hundreds between them, so it's not like he वो bounce नहीं खेल सकते. In fact, Ashwin is a proper batter at times. So I don't agree with that. Let's take a look at the Indian innings scorecard. What really happened there, and go through that. Uh, Yeah, Jaiswal again, like I'd mentioned in the show, जो एक कमी मुझे जायसवाल में दिख रही है, that is, when he's trying to drive early on the up, and he's going to be caught in the cordon. That was my dismissal for him, and Josh Hazelwood is going to have him on a string. We'll see what happens if he can control that. KL Rahul, I thought he looked like $1 million for all the talk about KL Rahul. He looked amazing. He looked amazing. I thought he played his way in. He was taking his time. He was patient. First half an hour, 45 minutes, he didn't even think about scoring runs. And then ठीक है, उसने ज़्यादा रन नहीं बनाए. I wouldn't say unfortunate dismissal because in my eyes that was out. But let's get your thought on KL Rahul. I think we could have, if Shubman Gill doesn't come back for the second test, we have a number 3 batter here. Nitin, let's start with
Yes,
you and
fine.
Dopan.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Dopan, you want to
yeah. No, go ahead, go ahead.
go ahead, Dopan.
Yeah. Yeah, the best thing about there are a couple of things which I saw. One is that KL was playing for the ball coming in,
Yeah.
so the ball that was leaving, that was just beating him. So
Hmm.
that's why probably Pujara said that
Hmm.
KL is suited for my number 3 position. This is a technique that
Hmm.
Pujara he used to use. Like he used to get beaten a lot on the outside
Hmm.
the off stump, but that did not result in his wicket. So that playing inside the line, that was something he was doing today and doing quite well. And another thing that I really liked about KL Rahul's batting is that there were a couple of times he did get the edge, but the ball did not carry on a Perth pitch, which means that he had an extremely loose bottom hand, which means he
Yes.
was relaxing to a degree. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is another very good thing that I saw in his batting, which has been a problem with him because he tends to tighten up a little too much. As Ravi Shastri was saying somewhere, I was listening that he has this tendency to tighten up too much, which sometimes takes a toll on his game. If that is not happening, if then it's a really good start and something to look forward to.
Okay, Nitin, your thoughts on KL Rahul?
Yeah, defended beautifully, played close to his body, underneath his eyes, left on length. Um, just unfortunate that was ruled out. In fact, I mean, whether it was out or not, there's
I beg to differ
debate
with you.
around it.
I
There's
beg to
debate
differ with
around
you.
it.
Yeah.
No, there's debate around it, but because you would have seen two spikes. Had there been a
Yeah.
bat pad and a bat on ball, but I think really unfortunate because he was looking
Yeah, he was
perfect.
batting so well. Yeah.
Yeah,
On that
yeah.
note, we have Group Sports Editor KSR K. Srinivas Rao joining us as well. Uh, why I think that was out was clearly when the match resumed, when he went off, there was a slow mo replay. Why that slow mo replay wasn't given to the third umpire, we don't know. Uh, there was a slow mo replay where he makes contact with the ball grazes his bat, and then the bat touches the pad. There is no discrepancy there. Or up, do we have? I'll just request the producer. Do we have the Simon Toffel? He was talking on Channel 7. Matthew
Yeah.
Hayden on Star Sports as well. Umpires looking for conclusive evidence. There were a few gremlins at the start of that review, being the first test where he didn't get some camera angles. Now I'll tell you why he didn't get those camera angles, because initially जो आपका जो कैमरा होता है DRS के लिए, it is a stable camera. It is a stable camera which is fixated on both ends. Today, for that particular dismissal, for whatever reason, we did not have that camera. It was a manually operated camera, which is why when we had that first shot, वो हमने आधा shot देखा. The behind shot was आधा. It was half, right? So that was one of the reasons. Now, Richard Illingworth had a tough job there, but this camera angle shown on the broadcast is probably the best one for me. It shows the ball does graze the outside edge. In my view, the ball does graze the outside edge, which has caused the scruff marks. But then the bat goes on to hit the pad. So from a batter's perspective, they are looking to see that evidence. So yeah, and if somebody's asking why hotspot was not there, hotspot is not there because it's not part of the standard DRS kit anymore. Shrini, your thoughts? Not on the dismissal. It's already had a lot of debate. Everybody has their opinion. You give us your opinion as well, but also on KL Rahul. क्योंकि इतना debate हुआ, but then KL Rahul batted beautifully today.
Exactly. I just have two things to say. One is he was batting beautifully. I mean, yesterday we were debating on the whole opener slot, and I think we took somebody's suggestion. We were discussing. I think it was Pujara's suggestion we were discussing, right?
Yeah.
That he suggested he should bat at number three, and I think I think opening made a lot more sense because he's played a little more, found a lot of success in that
Yeah.
position, and for some reason he's looking a totally different batsman than what we saw in the recent series against New Zealand. Maybe it's like something mentally that he's worked out for himself, or I don't know what. The point is, KL
Hmm.
was looking very good today, and from
Yeah.
the dismissal part, the only thing obviously I was behind the stage, so I was listening to what you all had to say. The only
Hmm.
thing that comes to mind is in a decision like this, in a scenario like this, the only thing that can come to help is hotspot, which is not part of the DRS kit. I understand that, but the only way this could have been helped, this scenario, was if there was hotspot. There is no other
Yeah.
way. I mean, how? Like, then it's about, as Simon Toffel says, it'll be an
Hmm.
interesting discussion in the umpire's room, and it will
Hmm.
continue to remain a discussion, because how else are you going to, front end cam jo hai, the spin vision and all, even that is inconclusive. I don't think other than hotspot anything could have helped us understand if the ball actually
Yes.
nicked the bat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely agree with you. And again, that's why it's probably dividing opinion. क्योंकि जो आपके जो shots आते हैं, वो अलग-अलग shots आते हैं. So somebody takes a shot and says something, somebody takes a shot and says something. But I will believe what Simon Toffel says on Channel 7. There was definite edge on that. And like I said, जो slow mo replay था, उस पे there was no doubt in my mind at least कि there was there was a clear edge there. But yeah, unlucky. He was batting beautifully, $1,000,000. Okay. Let's look at that also, because there was one issue with Virat Kohli Gopayan. He was standing too outside. We understand why he was standing outside. We've seen him bat, and he loves to negate that seam movement. He loves to negate that swing movement. But today, there was no excessive seam movement. There was no excessive swing movement. There was excessive bounce. So standing out too much. And Cheteshwar Pujara had a beautiful explanation on Star Sports during lunchtime. Absolute masterclass. I thought standing too outside the crease, and it was too outside today. I think that really hurt him.
This was exactly what I was discussing yesterday also in the show. Like, uh, see, that is his. There was seam movement today, some
Yeah,
significant
not
seam movement.
exaggerated.
But there was seam movement, Chetan.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
It was the same seam movement that made all the difference. So that is playing on his mind, and his only go-to since that 2018 series has been that style that he meets the ball early when the ball is moving so much, and does it. But problem with Australia is that bounce from a good length spot, when it jumps, it is very difficult to control. So
Hmm.
exactly that's what is happening. He will be very good. I'm telling you, he will be good when that exaggerated seam movement is off. When it's the bounce, it's only the game of bounce. He will get his half centuries. I don't know about the hundreds anymore, but he will
Hmm.
get his half centuries. But this seam movement, if it keeps on happening, this will bother him. This will bother
Hmm.
him. But I have a strong feeling that after this experience that Australia had, they will not be too keen to play on pitches with a bit of grass on it. Let pink ball test be, because that is a lottery
Yeah.
test match. It goes there, the ball moves. You can't help it. But
Hmm.
after this, they will be slightly skeptical, I think, because
Hmm.
they are doing what India did with New Zealand. Just as New Zealand brought India brought New Zealand spinners into play, they have brought India's seam bowlers into play. That's
Okay.
what I think.
Nitin, do you agree that the pitch was that spicy? I didn't think so. I didn't think it was that spicy. I think India bowled exceptionally well, and both sides batters. I mean, Australia bowled well as well, but I think India bowled even better. Now it's about finishing it off. ठीक है, जैसे ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने finish off कर लिया, can India finish it off tomorrow? That remains to be seen. The other thing, of course, I didn't think the batting was too great, and that is becoming the norm now in Test cricket, in the T20 world, that we're not going to see too great batting displays whenever the pitch is demanding. I thought the pitch was demanding. I didn't think that it was a pitch where you lose 17 wickets in a day. Do you see that? Do you agree with that? Your thoughts on this? I'll also get thoughts from Srini on this.
But you
Ball wasn't
can't.
doing. Sorry,
But
sorry.
you can't really trust your defense, no, on such on when the ball is moving so much and bouncing off a length. You
Hmm.
can't really. If you see most of the wickets, they're caught behind.
Hmm.
None of them, apart from Yashasvi, I don't think anyone has gone for an expansive shot. Everyone has got beaten on the defense. So that means that the ball is moving just enough to take the edge and getting you out. So I think there is a lot. 10 millimeters of grass is a lot of grass on the pitch,
Okay,
uh,
Srini.
and and
Okay,
and
carry on,
that
carry
is why I mean they showed a marvelous close up of the ball when Mitchell Stark hit Bumrah straight. They showed a marvelous close up of the ball near the boundary, and at 30 overs the ball was still new. That means apart from the lush outfield, even the wicket has a lot of grass, which is
Well,
keeping
the
the
ball is
spin.
also no, the ball is also new because it's not being smashed around, right? Nobody's scoring any runs. Labuschagne is standing
Exactly.
there for 50 deliveries. He scored two
Correct,
runs.
correct,
So,
correct,
so Lash
exactly.
is not going to come off. Polish is not going to
But
come off.
but still, if it's an abrasive surface, if it's an
Yeah,
abrasive surface, there would be a little bit of wear and tear on the ball.
true, true. Srini, your thoughts on
Yeah.
the pitch? Was it
Yeah, of course,
too
no
in
dusty
favor of the bowler?
surfaces, no dusty surfaces, lush outfield, kind of. I
Hmm.
mean, the ball obviously not surprising. The point is, there is nothing else on that pitch. It's just the grass bit. It's just the grass bit that was kind of, kept it lively in terms of the bounce and the pace. Other than that, but then I don't think this was also a case of as the only way was, to survive there was the Labuschagne way, which is you stand there and then wait for a Jasprit
Yeah,
Bumrah to
yeah.
take a break and tire off and know that there is no
Hmm.
one end the way Bumrah held it, you had to wait until then, and of course he did all the damage, and
Yeah.
there was no other way to tackle this other than just waiting and seeing the bowlers off, because there was
Hmm.
nothing else to expect from the pitch other than the grass and the pace that it provided and the bounce that it provided. Now, from that front, I thought, I personally, I mean, everybody's going gaga over this guy, Jasprit Bumrah. No wonder, no doubt about it. Exceptional bowler, but I just loved Harshit's debut today. I mean, I
Hmm.
really thought that he showed a lot
Well
of
done,
heart
well.
and
Yeah.
courage. Yeah, the way he kind of tried to match up to Jasprit and stand there from the other end. I thought it was beautiful
Yeah.
to watch it.
Yeah, we will come to the Australian innings in just a bit. Dupayan, one final question on the Indian innings. Rishabh Pant did what Rishabh Pant does. Nitish Reddy, I thought he looked good. I think India have got their. Depending on how much, I don't think he's going to bowl too much. Probably going to bowl tomorrow and in the second innings. But the way he batted, I thought India have got their number 7 for the series. क्योंकि आपको ऑस्ट्रेलिया में अगर एक पेस bowling all-rounder मिल जाए, and if his bowling comes together, there is no wonder he's going to play all 5 tests. I think India have found their number 7. Tell me about Rishabh Pant. What you thought of that? Nitish Reddy is batting as well.
Rishabh Pant, as you said, was being Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, Shini just said that the only way to stand there on the pitch was the Labuschagne way. Rishabh Pant
Yeah,
showed that there could be another way, and
yeah.
so he did that. He tried his shots. He walked down the pitch. He played that incredible shot of Cummins,
Mm,
Pat Cummins, sitting down and playing it over square leg for a six. That
mm,
was an incredible pickup shot that he played. So
mm,
one thing is, because it's going to be a very low scoring test match, if Rishabh Pant can come up with an innings like this, about 35, 40 or a half century, that will be massive in the second innings also. And in this innings, he again brought that sense of fear in the Aussies. You could see that the Australians are worried about this guy. Like,
yeah.
they immediately get Nathan Lyon on. They are doing things just for. And when that dropped, Pat Cummins couldn't take that catch of Rishabh Pant. You must have seen his face. It was a very difficult catch, but when he dropped it, like his face said it all. How
Mm,
scared they are of that guy. So
yeah,
Rishabh Pant
yeah.
is where he should be, and Nitish Reddy, as I said earlier, he looked good. He was out once, which was not given the part and parcel of the game, but he showed some spunk, some late order spunk. He can, if he can bat with the tail, good. Like things are good because, and here you probably do not need four bowlers firing on all cylinders, so it's
Hmm.
fine.
Yeah, I would have
He,
loved to see him bowl one over today, just to get something in the mix, just to see how it. I don't know if he has that kind of pace or not. Again, I haven't seen him bowl too much,
yeah,
so I
but
don't know
the
if
but
he
the
will have that
yeah,
kind of pace. Yeah,
yeah, but the runs are so less that you cannot play around with too much.
with
So
even one over. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, one
yeah.
over here and there is no scope for experiment. So yeah,
Well, I think he will get to bowl in the second innings. There's no
he will.
doubt in
I'm
my head.
sure.
In my head,
Yeah.
like Nitin also
He,
said, this pitch is going to ease out. Okay, before we move on to the Australian innings, 150. Nitin, when India was bowled out, क्या सोचा 150 के बारे में? I'll tell you what I thought. I thought इससे बुरा हो सकता था, इससे बेटर हो सकता था, या मैंने एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था. इससे बुरा जरूर हो सकता था. So I was like, okay, I'll take 150. Let's see how India is going to bowl. What was your thought with 150 all out?
Yeah, from 6 for 73, I would have taken 150.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that we could stretch it to about 225,
Hmm.
250. That
Hmm.
would have really put us in a very, very strong position,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this pitch, I still feel, had we bowled first, it would have been a
Hmm.
huge problem for Australia.
Okay, okay. Let's come to the Australian batting then, because as Dopayan said, we might not see this spicy pitch again in this series. Because, lo bhai, you can bowl us out for 150. We can put you down to 67 for seven. Let's start with all three of you, one by one. What did you make of that bowling? I mean, Siraj. I haven't seen this Siraj. I don't know, since the last BGT, I guess. Maybe in England, थोड़ा बहुत देखा था. But again,
South Africa,
South
Cape
South
Africa
Town.
Africa.
6 for
South Africa.
15,
Again, I was
beginning
trying
of
to
the
place.
year.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to place where I saw that kind of spell from him. He looked like बीच में जो 10 12 टेस्ट मैच वो खेला है वो खेला नहीं है ऐसा लगा. हर्षित राणा, like Srini said, wow, wow, the kind of pace, बहुत ही busy action है, but the kind of pace that he's worked out. I mean, yes, it's a different pitch than what he's used to in India, in IPL, etc., etc. So from that perspective, the kind of purchase he was getting, the busy action just gets that purchase, holding the seam really well. Brilliant dismissal of Travis Head to set him up. Let's start with Srini. He's in love with Harshit Rana.
I really I had until now, I must admit, I had only seen him like in bits, like, from passing in front of the television, just standing there for 5 minutes is the way I
Hmm.
had seen him. Today I kind of spent some time actually watching that
Hmm.
whole spell, and I thought I personally felt that, the occasion allowed him to elevate
Hmm.
his mind, in terms of, he's got the pace. He's got the pace. He can hit the deck, and that's all that you needed to do on this track. There was nothing else that you needed to do. Just maintain a
Yeah.
line,
Yeah.
hit the deck, and the track was good enough to give you everything else that you needed. But
Hmm.
what it needed also to be a bit disciplined, and, kind of to rise up to the occasion when it's such a big occasion. I think under his captain, maybe, I don't know, and the way Virat Kohli kept running up to him, high fiving him, like, kind of. I thought, he just elevated himself today. Outside of that, I think, the pitch was something that assisted his kind of bowling. All he had to do was keep hitting the deck, and
Hmm.
the purpose served itself.
Okay. Like I said, Harshit Rana se to Srini, he's in love with him. I'm in love with him. I'm in love with Jasprit Bumrah, as we all are. Siraj bowled well. I thought 10, 9, 8, even distribution. You brought on Jasprit Bumrah came on when it was required, when it was needed. That spell, ठीक है, एक catch drop हुआ, very weird catch drop. But overall, Dopayan, your thoughts on that bowling? I thought the three of them gelled really well. Add Shami to this mix, it almost becomes unplayable with the pink ball, doesn't it?
Yes. One thing I really liked about Harshit Rana, I will also the Harshit Rana, on a pitch as spicy as this, a youngster coming in from India always has the tendency to get carried away. Like,
Hmm.
but this is the maturity of this new age kids, and
Hmm.
it has happened because of somebody was asking me कि क्या होगा अभी ये immature. I said कि because he's coming from IPL ना, IPL teaches them that discipline.
Okay.
And वो
Great point.
डिसिप्लिन
Yeah.
ना वो डिसिप्लिन इसमें इनग्रेन्ड है. So वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. He didn't try too much. Like I have seen bowlers like long time back. I remember David Johnson coming in with a lot of pace and bowling all over the place. Like
और वरुण आरन, आप डेविड जॉनसन इतना पीछे मत जाओ, वरुण आरन को देख लो.
वरुण आरन, yeah, like सारे जगह पे bowling करे. But this guy was not getting carried away. That was the best thing that I liked about हर्षित राणा. बुमराह के बारे में और बोलने का कोई मतलब नहीं है, वो तो बोल लिया हम लोगों ने. And then Siraj it's good to see Siraj finding his rhythm back, his Rana back, everything, and bowling well in the second spell coming back. So it really augurs well. Like, yeah, add Shami to the mix and we have some lineup.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that batting card, you have what, 10, 11, 19, three players reaching double figures. Debutant scored 10 runs. Then you had 11 from Travis Head, 19 Alex Carey because he stayed at the wicket towards the end. I mean, you look at that top order, Manus Labuschagne, he absolutely, Nitin, absolutely. मतलब Indian batter से भी खराब form है यार उसका तो.
Yeah. He's been in bad form for almost 18 months now.
Yeah.
And
Couldn't touch the ball. And he should have been
this,
out. He should have been caught at slip. I don't know what Virat was
yeah.
doing.
This WTC cycle, in fact, the top four, Khwaja, Smith, Head, and Labuschagne, are all in very, very bad form this WTC cycle. So, I mean, I think all of their averages are below 5 percentage points than their normal averages, which is a significant drop. Um, and I think it's also to do with the fact that they have chosen again to play on result pitches at home, like Brisbane last time. Even the test matches against Pakistan at Melbourne and at Sydney, they were very, very close games. They, Pakistan, had they not dropped catches, they would have won at least one of those two games. So again, their choice to play, and I think in 2019 they went for a different Kookaburra ball after that Alistair Cook double hundred at MCG.
Yeah.
I think they changed the Kookaburra ball because they realized that even in Shield cricket the scores were getting too high.
Yeah,
So they
which is
changed the Kookaburra ball, and from then on, the wickets as well as the change ball has brought the bowlers into play.
Yeah. Steve Smith. Yeah, Srini, go ahead. You want to say something?
Going to stay Steve Smith, and you said it. Like I mean, we're discussing so much, but then that one dismissal is when things actually began to look different.
Yeah, because Steve Smith. I mean, you know, Steve Smith comes out to the crease, and you're talking about. Look, the entire build-up of the series has been about Virat Kohli scoring big runs. It's the same for Steve Smith as well. I mean, they've gone hand in hand. If you talk about BGT Trophy, एक time पे it became Virat versus Steve Smith, right? Starting from 2014 onwards. So if you're talking up Virat Kohli, you have to talk up Steve Smith, who's scoring runs in that middle order at number 4. He moved to opening. He's back at number 4. So there's a lot going on with him as well. There's this chain of thought that I have, and I saw this on I saw this from someone on social media as well. Um, he and I want your opinion, all three of you. I would want your opinion because he's somebody who's modeled his technique in terms of, matlab, he tries to flick on the leg side, the way he shuffles and moves, and he's been, because the start that I saw was that he's been increasingly getting out LBW, especially to pacers. So that ball which he earlier used to whip off his legs, अब वो balls को ज़्यादा miss कर सकते हैं. He's not in form. He's aging. It impacts your response time, your eyesight, everything. So Steve Smith could struggle in this series, couldn't he? Against a quality Indian bowling lineup, which keeps up its intensity and attacks him the way they have attacked him. Vapayan, Nitin, Srini?
Yes, if the matches are going to be played on pitches which have so much lateral movement in it, Steve Smith, Virat Kohli, both are going to struggle. Both will struggle. They are aging and they have lost that little zing in them to counter bounce and movement from quality attacks across the world. But you take off that grass, make it a more or less a pata with some steep bounce, you will get runs from Steve Smith again. So you will get that run. But he is struggling against the. Of course, when a guy gets out first ball, you do not get too much into it. That's what Gavaskar used to say, that when somebody gets out for in the first ball, don't
Hmm.
discuss it. The problem is when you have got settled and then got out. That is the
Like
problem. When you
Labuschagne,
get out
like
for,
Labuschagne.
if you say that he got settled, that is, he was
Oh,
unsettled for
yeah,
50 balls.
I didn't think, because the way he got out,
Yeah,
he was
he had
shuffling and
no
then he was trying to
clue.
flip,
He had
right?
no clue. I remember once Rahul Dravid scoring his first run after 50 balls. I think it was in Sydney in 2006, and then he raised his bat after scoring.
Perth,
Yeah, yeah.
No, no,
Nitin?
Perth
2008.
won. I think it was Sydney, the second test. I think.
Perth
In
2008.
2000,
2008,
2008.
2008,
Yeah, yeah,
2008.
yeah. It was a similar struggle, and you can see Marnus. It's not happening. Marnus is really, really in bad shape.
Yeah.
He's in a
Yeah,
terrible shape.
you could say Marnus was settled. Marnus Labuschagne was not settled. Even
No, no,
after
he was
facing
unsettled for 50 balls. He got out twice. Like
even after even after facing 50 balls, he's trying to flick off his legs and completely missing the line and getting LBW. Boss, you're not settled. And Nitin, with Manas and Steve in a bit of a struggle, Australia will think again before making such kind of pitches.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, the word would have already gone to the Adelaide curator, because over there the twilight zone is what will be the tricky zone, especially
Hmm.
in. I
Yeah,
think if you
pink ball.
see if you see all the day-night test stats,
Hmm.
that's the period where most of the wickets have fallen.
Hmm.
So Australia would hope at least that they would be batting when the sun is out.
Hmm.
Otherwise, again, if and especially if we get Shami back for that test match.
Yeah, I
Um,
still think it's a little too early. The second test match, maybe third test onwards.
yeah, but if we get Shami back, or if we get Akashdeep for that test,
Yeah,
then I think we'll have a serious attack. We just
yeah,
have to hope that
yeah,
Bumrah remains fresh and fit,
yeah,
and we win this test. I mean, if we
yeah.
win this test match
I'll come to
somehow,
that. I'll come to that. I'll come to that because I need
Whose
to ask Srini. Yeah,
whose
Srini, what?
pre-match prediction was it that if we are going into the third test 1-1, Darpan, right?
Sridhar,
Sridhar.
Okay,
R
okay,
Sridhar, R Sridhar.
okay, okay.
Well, we'll come to that. Srini, Fox का क्या होगा अगर ये 3 दिन में मैच खत्म होने शुरू हो गए तो अभी उनके उनके $300 million का क्या होगा?
I guess the first 2 to 3 days of play with the kind of drama that's happening,
Yeah.
the monetization levels are really sky high right now for Test match cricket. I think आप 3 दिन का Test match रख लो या 5 दिन का Test match रख लो, India in Australia is certain a money minting exercise. There is no
Hmm.
doubt about it. It's the greatest
Okay.
property that cricket currently has.
Yep. BGT, not disappointing at all. Let's take some comments before we go on to what is going to happen next. One comment, Saraj Chandra has been asking, I want to explain this. Can someone explain how pitch will ease out suddenly? All this drama, suddenly batters can score how? Boss, this is what happens in Test cricket. Sun beats down on the pitch, it eases out. Day 2, day 3 are generally considered the best for batting in Test cricket. Obviously, what's going to happen in this particular match, we'll have to wait and watch. But general consensus is, even from the commentators over there, that over the next 2 days, Mike Hussey was talking about it in the last session. The next 2 days is going to be bright sunshine. The grass has been exposed to the sun. It's going to ease out for batting. It might just become a little better for batting, but again, is it going to have too much impact or not? We'll have to wait and watch. But generally, second day and third day, especially in Australia, second and third day are considered to be very good for batting. We'll see how this match plays out. Okay, Prashant says like how New Zealand beat India on a rank turn, a similar fate. Okay, we'll see. So Ankur is saying IPL auction was really well planned. Test match is ending in 2-3 days. Uh, okay. Vishnu saying, did you notice Virat Kohli was involved in field settings and chats with bowlers? Bumrah as captain in comparison to Rohit. Well, it just depends. Guys, did you notice anything different? I thought he was his animated self. The opposition is on the mat and he was trying to just get on top of them. A catch be drop kar diya, so he had to be really aggressive and
I thought he
try.
spent some time explaining to Bumrah about that catch, right?
Yeah, he did. And when Siraj got him out LBW, he gave him such a tight hug ऐसे पूरा जब आके कि भैया थैंक
Yeah.
यू सो मच, और उसने सिर्फ 2 रन बनाया 50 बॉल पे, so that was really fun to watch.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then one thing, like, I will just say, add, like, yesterday Sridhar said a very interesting thing. He said that uh, there will be a lot of suggestions for Bumrah provided he is ready to accept that. So I am
hmm,
guessing Bumrah is not very comfortable with suggestions from people, but today it seemed that he was fine with Virat Kohli's suggestions. Like Virat Kohli, yeah, he was there, and they were kind of communicating well, because I know that for a fact that in that England Test match, people asked him to bowl and he was not ready to bowl. There was a bit of
hmm,
miscommunication. Bumrah was
hmm.
leading on day 5 when India lost to
Yeah.
England.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vishnu says stark difference from Edgbaston. Yeah, I think he's grown. I think he's wanted captaincy. He's thought about it very, very clearly. Look, Srini, what do you think? Yeah, go ahead.
You're very right. Well, that first line which you said, Chetan, you are very, very right. He wanted captaincy. He wanted that leadership role. Yeah, and
And
he's
he thought
reveling in
about
it. Yeah, he was giving. See, I can tell you for a fact that Boom has had leadership. He's been wanting to get into a leadership role. The only thing that had been stopping him from thinking totally in this way is that
it. Okay, Srini's network is conked off. But yeah, we were discussing this yesterday as well. In terms of if he performs well, because we are on the cusp of a transition. What happens next in Indian cricket, we don't really know where Indian cricket goes from here if they don't qualify for the WTC. But if that happens, we might have somebody like a Jasprit Bumrah for a short term captaincy. I think he's made a fantastic start. But let's talk about what happens tomorrow, guys. Nitin Nayak and Dopayan. Um, let's talk about tomorrow. 67 for 7, 150 runs. Uh, Still 83 runs to play with, right? 83 बहुत होते हैं
Yeah.
when you have 3 wickets in hand. India needs to come back with that same intensity. Nitin,
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. Get them out before 100,
Hmm.
and then bat bat as much as possible and get a lead of over 250.
Okay.
Then, because even that I think will be tough to defend for us on this pitch,
Hmm. Yeah.
because I think it's going to be Bumrah or bust for us. It's There's too much
Okay.
riding on him,
Hmm.
and we need. I don't know whether the bowlers will be, because the batters would know that if
Hmm.
we play out this guy, we can
Hmm.
score of the others, especially Harshit Rana or maybe
Yeah.
Nitish
Yeah. Second
and the
innings might
others.
not be
So
as easy. Okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So I
Okay.
just hope that tomorrow the lead is as much as possible.
Okay. Dopayan, what do you think?
Yes, let's see, the lead will be 50 plus minus 10. So that's what is it's going to be.
Hmm.
So what India cannot afford is another 150, 170 all out. Like 220, as Nitin is saying, because this
Oh.
live grass is going to die down.
Hmm.
It's going to get
Hmm.
Australia will not fail as miserably twice on this pitch. So
Yeah.
India needs 300, the 250 to 300 to win this test match. Otherwise, it will be too much on Bumrah, and just imagine he doesn't get a couple of wickets in the first spell. Like, I will just give an example. Today, that
Hmm.
McSweeney dismissal, if India hadn't gone for the DRS, there could be a chance that they might not have gone, because generally Kettleboro always gets it right. Had they not gone for DRS,
Yeah.
this guy might these two might just have played out the first 10 overs, like 25 runs, no wickets, and then it's a different game. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
another we cannot afford another collapse. Cannot.
And you know what? You need at some point you need a good batting performance. You just simply do. You need better application. You just need to stay at the wicket, spend time at the wicket. But what can they do different? Maybe have a better shot selection. Maybe just think about it a little bit more. We'll see what happens in the second innings. And tomorrow, India's second innings at some point will come. We hope within the first half an hour. I just want to take this question, uh, Srini. I don't think there's a chance of this happening.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
This is Rohit Sharma's test team. Let's not
This is
go
Rohit
anywhere.
Sharma's test. Let's, yeah. Okay. Prashant is asking, do you think spin will come into play on day 2? We have heard so much about cracks. No, I don't think so, guys. Anybody think so? No, I don't think. Unless and until this goes to the 4th and 5th day with sun beating down, no rain at all, in nothing. Sun beating down for 4
I've
days,
not
maybe.
I've not read or seen anything. Has there been any chatter around
Yeah.
cracks and
Mike
all?
Hussey was talking about cracks. Yes, Mike Hussey was
Okay,
talking about cracks. Yeah,
okay.
but again, grass की layering है जैसे नितिन ने बनाया, so there's a lot going on. So yeah. I mean,
And
that
for
that that
cracks to come
story.
into play, it has to go to the 4th day, no? Like,
Yeah,
I
but it
mean,
won't, right?
yeah,
We're looking at
yeah,
a Sunday
yeah,
finish
yeah,
before
yeah.
IPL, right?
Sunday
Before
finished,
IPL
yeah,
auction. Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, we have that graphic from that Instagram story from Sanjana Ganesan. I would say, I would say, the back also should be strong because we want him fit for the entire series. That's the only comment I'll make on that graphic. But guys, let's take a poll here. Let's take a poll here. Australia getting out at Nitin?
98.
98. Dwapayan?
110.
110. Okay. Srini?
Yeah, I mean, given the way India allows tails to wag,
Yeah.
I'll say, like, I'll also go beyond 100. They'll just frustrate us, go beyond 100 and then stop. So
Yeah.
105.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what happens. I hope one thing I was thinking. एक चीज और भी है कि if we can bowl with the same intensity throughout the series, and Jasprit Bumrah stays fit throughout the series, what we have seen today, again, it could be just the trailer of what could potentially happen. I think today we are feeling a lot more hopeful as a unit, and I think it all comes down to Jasprit Bumrah's fitness. What do you guys think, Nitin and Dopayan?
You
Yeah.
mean captaincy?
No,
Like
fitness as
future
a bowler.
captaincy?
No,
Oh, the
fitness as a
bowler.
bowler. This
Oh,
series I'm talking
okay, this series. Yes, but he will need support. He
Yes,
was
but again, if he's not there, look, if he's not there, then there is no point, right?
no, when Shami comes back, then he's also very good.
No,
Shami
yes,
is,
I agree with
yeah,
you, but we don't know
yeah,
if Shami is coming back. If Shami is part of the squad, then we can talk about it. But right
hmm,
now, he's not part of the squad.
yeah,
Let's just restrict ourselves to the
yeah.
squad.
This attack is all about Bumrah.
This attack is all about Bumrah. Nitin, your thoughts on this?
Yeah. As I said before, Bumrah or bust.
Bumrah or bust. So that is what we're thinking, right, Srini? Today we can be a lot more hopeful from what we have seen, especially from the Indian bowling, especially from the Australian batting. Indian batting तो राम भरोसे है, चल जाएगी नहीं चलेगी देखी जाएगी, but Australian batting को भी घुमाया जा सकता है. I think that is this message from day one. It gives hope to the Indian fan.
I still believe that if they've got to sustain this and go anywhere ahead in the series, it's day one. What happened today is fine, but you're going for it's a 5 test series. A long way to go. For that,
Hmm.
at any point in time where if we have to take any kind of control in the series, our batting has to start coming good. Until that happens, we will never really be in control of things unless we start
Right,
putting runs on the board. And now
right.
that
And, yeah,
now sorry, I'll complete this. Now that you know that your bowlers are there to get you those wickets, that you got to, as the series keep going further, their fatigue factor will begin to set in. So you need to give them the necessary cushion that's required. So that's going to be very important.
yeah, batting needs to fire at any cost, says Reed Sabla. So yeah, we couldn't agree more. But tomorrow, first of all, we'll be watching कि यार India की जो problem है tail के against वो ना आए. So let's see what happens. Somebody said 110 all out. I can't fight that comment, but thanks for that. Do subscribe to our channel or notification on करिए, because whenever we come for the show, we would love to have your company once again. Right now, I'd like to thank Nitin Nayak and Dopayan Datta, but also we'll be joining K. Srinivas Rao once again at 8:30, because we are bringing a double dhamal for you. Don't go away too far. 8:30 p.m. We are bringing to you our special presentation on the IPL auction. We'll be talking about all 10 teams. We'll give you all the lowdown. We'll be discussing which players they can go for. What is the budget like? What can be their targets? We'll have a full panel. We'll have Sahil Malhotra. We'll have Manuja Virappa. We'll have Gaurav Gupta, our very own GG. देखते हैं आज वो कितने कितने बड़े team selection करते हैं. We'll have K. Srinivas Rao, and I'll be there in that show as well. And Sunday, of course, we'll be there live after the BGT. tomorrow also we're coming back. We're not taking any break. एक और news है आपके लिए. We're not taking any break throughout this BGT. जब भी weekend पे test match होगा, we'll be coming live. So tomorrow 3:30 p.m. we'll be coming live as soon as the match finishes. So yeah, and Sunday of course, like I said, Sunday of course there's a big discussion on IPL as well. So for now, it's bye bye to Nitin and Gopayan. Srini, I'll see you at 8:30, and all of you, I will see you at 8:30 with a special presentation on Beyond the Boundary. Do subscribe and don't go too far off.
Thank you.
Thank you.